thought we'd just start off this morning with some googly eyes. Seems like a googly eye morning. And maybe I'll just shift that lighting around. Yes, I wish I had done this before I started it. Yeah, I do, but it's too late now. Good morning. It's too late. It's too late now. So, after the last two tarot readings, I think the greatest tarot reading ever, maybe, was the one 2 days ago, when I was still referring to the days as May, before I realized that if I was going to be transitioning to the 13 moon calendar of the Maya people, that I might have to start referring to the actual month of the Mayan people, which is the spectral month. And the days are one day ahead of the Pope Gregory calendar, Gregorian chant calendar. Yeah, we're on a roll today already. You can tell. We're just going to have a lot of fun. So let's just roll with it to the best of our ability. The cat was just in a like I can mess with you so well mood this morning, and of course she could, and she did. But I finally caught her. She was trying to get underneath the laundry basket that's holding my computer up. So the computer was going like this, and I'm like, okay, I think you want to go to the kitty spa. First thing in the morning, go to the kitty spa, have a great time, take a sauna, take an ice bath, do whatever, but do it there, and I'll do this here. Because, as many of you know now, I'm an influencer. And when you have a fool for life as your influencer, you just don't know what's going to happen next. But I have a cat that's a better fool than I. So when you're in a fool competition with a cat, you're going to be a loser. But don't take it personally, because you're doing your best, and your best is just never as good as the cat's best. But you have disposable lighters, flickers. That's what these things are. Disposable thumbs. And they are disposable. I'd rather not dispose of mine, because I've smashed it a number of times with hammers and things, and then it's not been functional for a period of time, and then you realize how often you use your thumbs. Once you can't use them, you realize, oh, I use these things for a lot of things. Moral of the story is, don't start with morals of the story. You'll never get through the reading. So, from the universe itself gave us this card, okay? Which is the Prince of Wands. And Wands is about creativity. Okay, so we're going to set that down in the universe card position of the Celtic cross. Don't be cross with me, because I use the Celtic cross, because it's just, I don't know, Celtic refers to kind of Ireland, or does Celtic refer to a group of people that were within that area? The Celts, where the Celts come from, and where are the Celts going, really? I mean, I think they just spread out. A lot of them came to America, which was a country that was just like created out of nothing, really, because there was supposedly nothing here. They just came over and said, wow, look at all this great farmland. Let's go do it. And they did it. And then they sold all their farmland to like one individual who had a lot of money. And then also, I guess that one individual had a lot of money, and then also government of China. I guess those are the two big farmland holders, which makes me feel confident that our food is going to be produced well and probably organic. If it's being produced by the one rich guy and the Chinese government, the food's going to be good. That's all I was concerned about. Concern gone. All right. So from the planetary soul, Abrahamanad. I noticed yesterday I said Abrahamanad, which sounded really funny to me when I listened to it later. There was a number of things I said that were just cracked me up, and apparently a few other people who said that you cracked me up, and I think we all need to crack up. So I can't even see what it is. I'll move it closer. Oh yeah, it's it's the cups. So it's the Four of Cups. It's the emotional luxury card. We got it again. I think we got this yesterday. And here it is again. So we're just going to be filled with emotional luxury. And then what we've been working with. So we go what we've been working with, but still are working with. What we're currently working with and still are working with. And what we may be working with in the future, but are already working with it because the future's now as well. I hope that's real clear in in our little minds. It's getting clear in my mind on the level that something like that can actually be clear. All right. So what we have been working with, that we're trying not to call the past anymore, I looked at it before, so I don't have to try to read it in the small print, arm's distance away. So I think it's the Princess of Swords. And I did put the W in this time. Sometimes I say swords, which I think is how I'm supposed to say it, but oftentimes I'll throw the W in there because I see it and I feel like I got to use it because it's there. Okay, so that's what we have been working with. What we're currently working with is the Queen of Cups. So again, emotions, and queens are always like, well, the book was put together by person in a female form, Angelus Arian, and so seemingly the queens always seem better than the king than the knights because there's no kings, which is great. Just get rid of the kings and just make them knights. Make them go out and do something. Just do something, anything. We don't care. And then what we're moving into is the Queen of Swords. So these are great because we're just moving. We are in a world of feminine power. Surrounded the world is now feminine. The patriarchy is done. We're just done with the patriarchy. We're moving on to the matriarchy. We're giving them a chance to see if they can do any better than we've done. I don't know how you can do better than we've done. And I say we, meaning, people in men's suits as opposed to people in women's suits. And I guess you can switch lifetime to lifetime, or just even in one lifetime, you can just go, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. And I've been told, I don't know if this is true, but it could be true. If you're making it up that it is true, then it is true, that we live in a free will plane. And I'm not sure whether it's a free will plane or a free willy plane, which was, I think, a movie about freeing Willy. And I think he got free in the end, but I don't remember. So we'll consider it a metaphor or a meta 5. Okay, so from the universe, we'll start off with the Prince of Wands. So we're just going to be finding them this today because I didn't take the time. I was trying to get it done quicker, and the hurrier you go, the behinder you get. I don't know if you ever heard that one, but I think it's a good one. That was from my father. The hurrier you go, the behinder you get. I think it's good. You can write in the comment section what you think. Okay, so from the universe, we got the Prince of Wands, which is the dynamic mastery of unlimited creative expression that is totally inspired from deep within. Oh, and you might want to state out loud, I connect to the deep self. I connect to the higher self. I ground myself to the healing center of the earth. I can breathe again. I open myself to the healing power of the One. I I'll let go of anything not useful to me now. And if you choose to work with the Hathors, I choose to work with the Hathors. Okay. The Prince of Wands is the dynamic mastery of unlimited creative expression that is totally inspired from deep within. So it's best to connect with your deep self so you can go deep within, so you can be totally inspired with unlimited creative expression. I think that's, well, I'll read this part. There is focus, concentration, and attention to manifest one's creativity, which is shown by the contained fire within the chariot. Okay. So the Prince of Wands is the mastery of inspired creativity. If that doesn't get you moving in the morning, then this might. Oui, French press. Okay, so moving on to the Four of Cups. So if you didn't watch the video yesterday, which went through the Four of Cups, then I'm not going to make you watch it today, even though it's already marked. See, it's got that little sticker. So the Four of Cups is emotional luxury and fulfillment. And this is from the Soul of the Earth. Gifted us this card today. This symbol represents the experience of feeling emotionally fulfilled and satisfied internally, which are the cups filled from deep within, radiating out, and feeling equally satisfied about external situations, which are the cups reflecting outwardly. What we have represented here is the two-way flow of internal and external fulfillment and satisfaction that is being experienced emotionally. Sometimes I feel like I've got to knock on wood when I say things like, you know, the last few days have actually been pretty good. And there's a part of me that clenches, like, oh, you've just cursed yourself. You've had a few good days, and now you stated out loud, and now you probably have a thought form that if you state out loud your life's halfway decent, then it's going to take a dive. I think it's time to let go of that. Like, if you have a good day, just have it. Maybe don't talk about it. Maybe just have it. Maybe not tell your friends you've had a good day if all your friends have been having really bad days, and you just don't want to rock the boat, so to speak. I'm just going to throw out a whole bunch of terms like rock the boat baby. So those of us of a certain age group will immediately think of don't rock the boat baby. And there's some song, I can't remember, it was during the disco era. So maybe it was the Prince of Disco era. Yep, creative mind. Okay, so anyway, within the next 4 weeks to the next 4 months, you're just going to feel completely fulfilled emotionally, internally and externally, and share that joy with others. Good job. I support you. Okay, so we move on to what we've been currently working with. And so we got to go to the sword section. I almost said sword section, but we got the Princess of Swords, or swords. If you want to use the W, you go ahead. I'm not going to get on your case for using the W, sword. Or if you have German descent and you want to use W like a V, or no, a V like a W, you can say you're going to vacuum the carpet. I have a friend that, you know, his parents were from Germany, emigrated here after the war, had a couple kids. The second kid, one of my best friends, but had to have multiple brain surgeries as an infant. So he's kind of, he's really present. And he's worked through a lot of stuff. But he's always talking about, I'm just going to vacuum out the stuff that I want to let go. I'm going to vacuum it out. And I just love it. It just makes my heart feel joy to hear the term vacuum. Vacuum. I'm going to vacuum it. Anyway, we're on a roll today. So the Princess of Swords is the mastery of critical thinking. Now, I don't think it means like, this isn't going to work. You know, you should never do it that way. Why are you doing it that way? You know, that voice of your mother or your father in your head or your teachers or, you know, are you stupid or what? You know, it's not critical thinking in that way. It's critical thinking in that this is what I've been told is true, and I'm just moving it far enough out of the way that I can store some of my own thoughts that aren't criticizing critical thoughts in terms that this is never going to work, but thoughts that are well thought out, maybe creative thoughts that are possibly useful, seeing that we're moving into a brand new world in a brand new way. So, the Princess of Swords, I said swords, not swords. It's vacuuming. The Princess of Vacuuming. Okay. It represents the ability to apply ideas in tangible and productive ways. The Princess of Swords is the mood fighter. So this is what we're working with right now. The fighting of moods, the dust storms within herself. It actually says this in the book. She actively prevents herself from getting engulfed in the moods of those around her. So all these energies that are just maybe having an effect on our environment, like the dust storms of other people's emotional reactivity. She's determined to apply her practical ideas in productive, useful ways. For some reason, that's connected with the mushroom pedestal. Now, I don't know which direction they were going with this at the time. I know that Angeles Arian was in an interview with one of the brothers who were doing a lot of experimentation with mushrooms in terms of the neurological effect of the mushroom on the brain, spinal cord, and the way we perceive reality. So that may be where the mushroom pedestals came in. Okay. She's constantly regenerating her thinking to see how her ideas can be cost-effective and nourishing to others beyond herself. Okay, so that's what we've been working with up to now. And currently what we're working with is the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is the Queen of the emotions. And the Queen, right now we're working with mastering our emotional integrity. So the Queen of Cups is the symbol which represents mastery of emotional integrity. She is the woman with one hand on a stork. Interesting image. Oh, okay, there she is. One hand on a stork. Which represents her determination to express herself accurately as she gives birth to new forms, new talents, new identities, and new life. We're all about new right now. Because the old probably never really worked from most of our perspective. It just didn't work. But it was so ingrained in the consciousness and there was so much trauma associated with it that they felt like they had to do what the Chinese possibly talked about as insanity, which you just keep doing the same thing expecting the results to change. But if you want the results to change, you have to do something differently. You keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results. Unless you have the belief system that you don't, you'll get better results. But so far, here we are again. What number of recession or depression is this? Like let's just go with my life, because That's the only part. That's the only life I remember, really. So 73 years of life, and how many depressions? I think there was one in the 70s. Don't remember 80s, but there might have been one in the 80s. But it'd be interesting to know how many of them there. It seems like there's been at least. This seems like at least the fifth one, where all your money's not worth anything again. Best of luck. How's your savings going? Save up that money so it can be worthless later. These are a bunch of thought forms. Just move them out, because we're full of creative ideas. We are currently the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Good Ideas. Okay. She is the expression of emotional authenticity and congruity about motherhood issues and issues surrounding maternal or female authority figures. Okay, and then what we're moving towards is the Queen of Swords. Let's see what that Queen of Swords has to do with. So the Queen of Swords has to do with the mastery of objective thinking and clarity. The Queen of Swords reflects the rational, objective, fair witnessing mind, the observing mind that stays out of the drama, trauma energy, stays out of it, looks at it, and sees maybe what needs to clear and helps in the clearing of that, so we can be more rational and objective while still remaining heart-centered. So even though the swords are about the mind functions best when it functions from the heart. Now, if you haven't heard the term heart of the mind, I offer it to you now. I heard of it in the 80s. Yeah, Heart of the Mind. I think there was a book called Heart of the Mind, which was really good, which was one of my NLP teachers. Actually, she and her husband wrote the book, Heart of the Mind. So she sits upon a huge cloud in the air with a sword in one hand and a mask in the other. She's the mask cutter. She holds a mask in her hand as a symbol of having cut through her own mask roles and defenses in order to retain her objectivity and clarity. This is where we're moving, where we see the world as an observer with compassion and curiosity, and watch people in our immediate area get energetically disturbed, get triggered, have all these feelings come up, and we go, oh yeah, I imagine that's fairly intense to work with, because it's intense somewhat for me to work with, just even being around that energy, and that energy is inside you. So let's just relax and observe and see if we can find the place where all that energy is trapped. If there's some event from our past or our ancestors' past, some past event that's showing itself in the present with a lot of emotional intensity, and can we first just contain that emotional intensity and then let it go? Let that emotional intensity release. Let that trauma from the past just come right off that story that created all those beliefs, and just let them go. That seems good enough for today. I'll get back with my house guests and see if I can help them have a nice last morning of their time with us before they head off for their adventures on the Olympic Peninsula. So, now must go.